Hey everyone, I am Sarah Doody, a user experience designer and entrepreneur. And these episodes are filled with honest answers and insights to your questions about design, technology, and business. Now, if you want to learn more about user experience, I publish a weekly UX newsletter called The UX Notebook. You can just head on over to theuxnotebook.com or look below in the comments where we have a link where you can sign up and get your first issue on Friday. But in the meantime, I want to go to another question from one of our readers. So Martina from London has asked, when should I give up being a designer? Now, when I first saw this question, my heart just kind of sank because I felt really bad for Martina and I wanted to know more about her situation. But let me kind of step back a few moments and think through, back to times in my career where I kind of wondered, what the heck am I doing? So I look back and I think, when did I learn about UX and why did I ever get into this field? And I distinctly remember I had been studying graphic design and web design and just kind of dabbling in it honestly. And then I read this book about information architecture and all the light bulbs went off in my head and I thought, aha, this is a perfect job for me because it combined this very artistic, creative side with this very analytical and science side, and to me, threw them into one career. And that's what got me excited because I thought, oh my goodness, I can have this career that uses both sides of my brain and I can get paid to be super creative and also still get that sciencey analytical part of my brain solving problems every day. So for me, that was my motivation to get to pursue user experience. And I would question, if you're doubting your career right now, go back to that moment when you got into it in the first place and think, okay, why did I get into this? And is it because maybe you too were really left brain and right brain and you thought it was a cool idea? Or maybe you were a developer and you realized you didn't just want to code this stuff, you wanted to design it as well and shift into that instead of being in the development side. Or maybe you're a product manager and you got tired of kind of the management side of things and you wanted to be kind of one step down in the weeds, I guess you could say, and be more in the making process. So think about, what gets you excited, and that might remind you, of why you decided to get started in UX to begin with and encourage you to keep going. Now, if you're really discouraged right now, I would think, okay, what is holding you back right now? Is it because you're in a company that doesn't value user experience? Well, that's a variable that you could change. You could find a company that does value user experience, or maybe you are wanting to give up because you're getting a lot of pushback from your team, or that your manager is never around to mentor you or stuff like that. Or maybe you feel like your team is not solving a real problem and that they're just kind of building a solution. Maybe they've not done any research and you just feel like it's so depressing to be designing this product without any research. So I would think about, what is discouraging right now, and are those variables within your control? So should you maybe go try and find another job at a company that more values and respects UX? Or are you without a mentor in your job and you just feel like you're off on an island? Maybe you need a manager who's going to be more present and more able to coach you. So if that's the case, you could either have a conversation with your manager and say, hey, this is something I need because I want to grow as a designer. And if they can give that to you for whatever reason, that'll be an indication to maybe go find another job. Or you don't have to quit your job. Find mentorship elsewhere. Find a UX meetup to go to. Find UX groups online. Connect with people over Twitter. There's tons of ways to kind of immerse yourself with other UX professionals if you feel like, maybe you are not getting the mentorship you need at work. But if you want to question your career in UX, I think you kind of have to just hit the brakes a little and think, okay, this is my reaction, but what's causing this reaction? What is the underlying symptom? And figure out if that is within your control, or if it's a matter of, you know what, maybe you were thrown into this role and you have no formal training, you don't know the software, you don't know the process, and you feel like you're just kind of fumbling around all day long. If it's a matter of skill set, then there are tons of courses out there. We all know this. You can find them anywhere online. But if it's a matter of skill set, then go level up your skills. I had a boss one time who said, know your tool as fast as you can and know your tool as well as you can. So if you don't know your tool, go out and know your tool as fast as you can, and then know it as well as you can. And then maybe you'll feel more equipped in whatever your role you're in. But I guess, when should you give up? If it's a matter of you just genuinely don't like it anymore and you're not passionate about it and you feel like you're being pulled in another direction, then I would say go pursue that direction. Don't stay in a field you're not interested in. But, I almost forgot this one. But another thing to consider is if you're feeling like you should give up, maybe think about, okay, in the whole vast world of UX, what should I focus on? Maybe you're trying to do too much. There's all this talk right now of the unicorn designer, which is, everyone has an opinion on that. I don't have time to get into mine, but maybe you need to think about, in the world of UX, what excites me? What niche could I get into? So maybe your problem is that you're being forced to try and do it all. Maybe you're at a small company or your team doesn't understand that there are specific roles within UX. If that's the case, think about what part of UX really excites you. Is it research? Is it kind of the experience side of things, the wireframes, the user flow, the strategy? Is it more the visual design, the interface, the taking those wireframes and really doing the interface and the interactions? What is it in UX that gets you most excited? And then if you still think nothing excites you, then you probably shouldn't be doing UX. But first of all, think of all those variables involved. Think of what got you excited in the first place, and then think about what within the whole world of UX gets you most excited, and figure out how you could kind of, point your career in that direction. So hopefully that gives you some tips and ideas on how to kind of refocus your career or get the mentorship you need. And then if you need to, ultimately figure out what is for you if it's not UX. So Nicole, hopefully that gives you some direction. And if you have been watching and you have a question for me, the easiest way to ask it is to use the little form we've set up. We will link to it in the notes below. You can also find it on my website at sarahdoody.com. Just click on the contact link and you'll get over to a Google form. You can ask me your question and we will add it to the ever-growing queue. But today's UX tip is to know your tool as fast as you can, and know your tool as well as you can. Because if you can know that tool really well, then you can focus on all the other skills that are really important, those soft skills that are critical to becoming a really great user experience designer. So that's all for today, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.